It's all walking. See all those yellow dotted lines?
Can you come skiing here?
Only if there's snow.
So make sure you keep an eye on your belongings.
He's being kicked off. I'm a celebrity.
Welcome back to the channel. Now, in the last episode we left you turning in for the night at Punakaki Beach campsite, having witnessed a perfect sunset. The morning reveals a cliff backdrop to the campsite, and before we have to leave the site we take a walk up to Pancake Rocks, which is just about a quarter of a mile from the campsite. And there's a circular walk that takes you around this really unique geological area. And it's really accessible, with a tarmac or boardwalk path that takes you through the local vegetation to various views.
Pancake Rocks. Oh, yeah, that's why they call it. It's obviously.
The limestone of the Pancake Rocks has been uplifted and then eroded into the current formations. And this area was formed between 20 and 30 million years ago. Now, the limestone is really heavily eroded where the sea bursts through several blowholes, and apparently on high tides and rough seas you can see the water bursting up, but alas for us, not today with the calm waters. And you can definitely see here why it's known as Pancake Rocks, with the very distinctive layers of the rock strata that has been formed. Well, they set a challenge to see the various imagined shapes. And we can actually see the campsite across the bay. And on the way back we visited a signed cabin, but to be honest it was a little unimpressive. And back at the campsite most vans are starting to pack up to leave, which is exactly what we need to do, having consumed a quick bacon butty. And we drive past Pancake Rocks, passing on the left where a cafe and a centre are being built.
Right, here he is. Coming from the right. Coming from the right.
To right here. Yeah, you go. We were just having that conversation from the right apparently. Well, so far this is the only train that we've seen in New Zealand, and they don't appear, although we could be wrong, to have a major railway infrastructure. So we're heading to Arthur's Pass, and along the way we stop in on a couple of potential parkups for a bit later in the day. And this one on the right is a contender. And as you can see, there are some really expensive houses nearby, commanding a stunning view across Lake Bruna. And we have to turn round and go back the way we came, so one for you if you're considering coming to the area. Now, unfortunately, as ever, frustratingly, technology lets us down, and the GoPro fails to record the journey as we drive up to the township of Arthur's Pass. and we park by the visitor centre at the far end of the town.
It's all walking. See all those yellow dotted lines.
Can you come skiing here?
Only if there's snow. Only if there's snow. Only if there's snow.
Well, after that earth-shattering statement, we walk back into the town in search of a cafe. The township and the pass take their names from Arthur Dudley Dobson, who had been tasked to find a route west to east in the gold rush era of 1864. It's now more known for its stopping off point, for backpackers and hikers tackling the mountainous trails all around this area. And much to our surprise at the cafe, we came across this Kia bird, which is a species of parrot that is almost wiped out. But it became a protected species in 1986. And it's referred to as the clown of the mountains, as it has no fear of people and is quite inquisitive. So make sure you keep an eye on your belongings, as it has been reported to have made off with somebody's passport.
Give us a shout when you're ready, over. Give us a shout when you're ready, over.
And on our way back down, we stop off to take some shots of what is a really busy route, especially for large lorries. And we find a Freedom parkup not too far from the pass, and it serves us well for a night's stop off. It backs onto a stream, although we did struggle with the midges and mosquitoes in the evening, unfortunately. A unique, colourful rental campervan pulls into the parking area, and we've seen a few of these on our travels. The following morning we're in need of brunch, so once again Caroline, as ever, does her research and we head to a town of Hokitika. And the cafe called The Kitchen on the right here is our destination. So the vans get parked overlooking the Hokitika River and bridge. And the food, I must say, was right up there with the best that we've had so far, and I personally couldn't get past the mince on toast, which is a flashback to my childhood, although it's not for everybody. And we're soon back on the road, and we've picked out a river walk at the Hokitika Gorge, which is not so far from the town. Unfortunately, the wind's picked up, which we are sure is related to the cyclone that is hitting the North Island. Now, this is a really popular walk that has easy, accessible paths and boardwalks that take you through the tropical forests. The paths weave through the forest and reveals viewpoints that look out upon the intense coloured glacial waters of the Hokitika River. And the suspension bridges really add to the drama of this walk, although we do note and count the number of people at any one time. The milky turquoise coloured water that you can see is due to a combination of pure glacial waters and what is called rock flour. But instead of sinking to the bottom, the fine particles are suspended in the water, giving it this really milky look. And that rock is a really popular spot for photographs. And Caroline somehow manages to bag a slot in the queue. It's not a long walk, but it's a really pleasant one, in the dappled sun breaking through the trees. And we highly recommend this walk.
He's being kicked off. I'm a celebrity. I'm not a celebrity. Get me out of here.
So we just left the Hokitika Gorge. I probably said that wrong, but it was a great walk, fantastic walk.
Yeah,
So
really
yeah,
walk.
definitely go. And I think it's not that far, and it's also it's quite well. The paths and that are really good. And it's just a really stunning location, quite popular, but definitely go. So we sort of carried on tracking down the west coast, which is it's a great touring route,
Yeah,
I'd say, the west
lovely.
coast. We really enjoyed
Yeah.
the drive in South Island so far. Some of the roads are just fantastic, and there's loads of stop-off places. You won't be short of places to stop. I think it was
Spoiled for choice,
so
really.
Lake Lanth. I want to say Lake Lanthe. I'll put it on the video. We stopped there just for a cup of tea, etc. And I think you could stop there. There was a freedom site there for a few vans. You could self-register, etc. But again, it's just all the views down there, looking over at the
Stunning,
lakes and that.
yeah.
The wind was quite high that day. In fact, we saw what we thought was a fire coming across.
Yeah, it was a
the
big
lake.
drama in the van, wasn't it? It's like, oh my God, the whole place is on,
on
fire.
fire,
But
yeah.
actually, as it turned out, it was just wind.
Yeah, it was high winds and
yeah.
that. And I think it was high winds related to the cyclone that was hitting
Yeah,
North
definitely,
Island, because that day we started to hear, unfortunately, they'd been hit quite bad again with a cyclone, landslips, floods, and also there was loss of life, tragically. Yet we're in this sunshine,
Yeah, we're like in
albeit
a
high winds,
bubble.
and a bit of a bubble
Yeah.
on the South Island and that. So we were lucky that's where we were, and unfortunately the North Island's been hit again.
Yeah.
And when we left Lake Lanthe, we carried on down. There's lots of riverbeds that you cross, and in the distance you could just see what we thought was smoke, which turned out just purely to be high winds and dust blowing down the valleys and that.
I've never seen that before.
No,
I've
no,
been around New
it's,
Zealand and I've never seen that. It was quite a dusty area, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we just carried on tracking south. There's obviously there was not a lot of traffic there. We would pull over every now and again using the walkie-talkies, because they were quite good when we felt as though there was vehicles behind us. We'd inform the one in front, etc.
Yeah, definitely. If you're travelling in convoy, get some walkie-talkies just purely for the entertainment value.
Yeah. Yeah.
At first, when you got walkie-talkies, I'm like, we can just use our phones, but actually,
No, it was so
it's-
much easier.
yeah,
So much easier.
they're a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
also it was really handy when we wanted to pull in.
Yeah, yeah.
Or they wanted to pull in, or we wanted to let cars past. They were really valuable, weren't
Yeah, yeah. So we sort of carried on tracking down that way. We was heading towards our next stop, which was Franz Josef. So as we got to there, you could then see in the background the backdrop of the mountains in the background, which were just again spectacular because the sun was out. It was all clear blue skies, and there was a glacier and snow capped on the top there. You can go up to the glacier. There's lots of helicopter rides as well, and plane rides and that. If you could afford it,
they're
you could
not
go.
cheap. Would you have gone?
Yeah, I've never been in a helicopter. I think I probably would. We didn't because of the expense more than anything else. But I think I'd go in it. Have you ever been in a helicopter?
I have.
Oh, there you go.
And it wasn't pleasant.
Right.
I think I probably would have
Yeah.
thought, sod it, give it a go.
So there's loads. In fact, there's lots of places where people. It's obviously quite a bit of an industry down there, where you can go to these small airports or from farmers' fields and that they've
It's obviously
set
a
up. And
big
that.
business, isn't it, in that area? Yeah.
So we got into Franz Josef. We went to a campervan place called
Orange
Sheep. Orange Sheep. You can't book there in advance on the website. I think it's because he just doesn't want the hassle of
Yeah, you
booking in
always
advance.
wonder, like, why can't you book on? But like you said, it's probably because they just can't be bothered. It must,
With the booking
there must be
process.
quite a time-consuming.
Yeah. So you just you rock up and I always say we've always got plenty of space, and he did, to be perfectly honest. And in the pitches we had were certainly really good. They were quite secluded. They were tucked away with the vans we got, and the facilities were really good. Showers were excellent, to be perfectly honest. So we sort of got ourselves settled for the day. We're going to have a meal at night and that, but we went out for a walk around Franz Josef, and somehow we found ourselves in a bar
Oh, there's a
Don't know,
surprise.
don't know where that happened, but we just, it was just nice just to stop there, wasn't it? And I think we sort of got the feeling though Franz Josef was probably a place we'd probably spend a bit more time if we had the time in the itinerary. And this is where a fixed itinerary, well, not fixed itinerary, is where you've got, when you're moving quite a bit of distance.
Yeah, it's getting the balance between fixed and having no agenda. You've got to have
something, otherwise you don't get to see what you got to see in that. So, but I felt as though there was a lot to explore around Franz Josef that we didn't see. We only stopped for the night, and so there was lots of walks. So we could have gone to the glacier, etc.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's great to be in the moment, but you just don't know quite when that moment's going to be.
Along.
You know,
so you definitely get some flexibility into the itinerary if you can. So we will leave it there for this video, enjoying our evening. In the next episode, we continue to track south before turning inland, where we visit a popular location where you get your adrenaline rush from jumping off bridges. Our stay at Wanaka is extended due to an error in our planning, so we console ourselves with a unique meal.